The issue's only continuing, I'm afraid, over here. I have been talking to you for the last couple of minutes. My streaming software is really not liking me right now. It seems that when the game audio and the stream audio comes together, it starts to glitch, as it has been. So I'm afraid we're just going to have to deal with it for this race. And unfortunately, my streaming software told me I was streaming. YouTube decided I wasn't somehow. I'm not quite sure how that miscommunication between the softwares happened. But we have ended up missing the first lap or two of this race. We are under safety car conditions. HSV, this man, and Punts found themselves together at the first corner, or the first braking zone at the very least, into the gravel. And unfortunately, that has caused some dramas up and down the order. So I'm still testing stuff here, trying to make it work better as we go back to green flag. Hopefully, the audio may now improve. I've turned down the bit rate. Hopefully that is the issue. Let me know, please, if you can. Oh, and there's an issue as we go back to racing. Who was that? Was that in the pit lane wall there? Xiami just getting too much power down as we go back to racing. Papa AT leads the way from Deadpool, but he overshoots the first bend and he spins. Immediate issues. Doesn't get damage off of that tap from Lurox. Was it Lurox who got into him? I'm not sure. Gravel being thrown up. Dramas galore then as the racing gets back underway. Deadpool is leading then. And let's see what happens with the safety car. Do we get another safety car? It appears we don't. No damage for anybody. I think that's the decider. Well, there is some damage. Farrell PS, who wasn't involved in that skirmish we saw, he's running with some damage. So clearly something else has happened further back. The number 3 car in amongst it. It's Racing, meanwhile, has moved up to 7th place. He was all the way down in 14th. That's a great, I suppose you could say, first lap, as Huzo has found himself in the death chicane by the looks of it. He's dropped all the way back to P11 there in the second of the NSXs from the CP Motorsports camp. He's into pit lane with damage, so it has again all kicked off. Papa AT also into pit lane. On my screen at least he doesn't have damage. The fact that he's in the pits would rather suggest he does, as would flat to the back of the car as he spun it round there at the first chicane. There is the safety car. So the safety car has been deployed yet again. The safety car for damage policy is certainly one that breeds many of them at a circuit like Dragon Trail Seaside. That is for sure. Again, I have to apologise for the audio issues. I don't know how to fix it at this stage. I've tried my best, but seemingly I can't do anything about it at this stage. So again, my apologies. But we are just going to have to push through. Hopefully it can be solved for next week. I thought I'd solved it for this week, but that has not come true. Nonetheless, we're back under safety car conditions. Deadpool there with a massive lead of 4.5 seconds is not going to be best pleased to lose it again. Wiseacre there in second place. Lurox third. Spud in fourth place. Of course, he had to start further back. The race, or the grid for this race is set by the previous race, so he's already had to do some pulling through the order. Safety cars will have helped him. We're on our second safety car period of the race, and we're only at quarter distance. Brandosa in 5th. It's racing there in 6th. He's also, of course, had to come up from the back. He was at the front of the order at the start of the race, but first lap pit stop, didn't see the incident, but there must have been damage. Although there is only one mandatory stop in the race, so if he's very confident about his tyre wear, then maybe he simply elected to get the stop out of the way early. Maybe this is a strategy beyond my own comprehension from its racing, but I didn't see an incident that caused him damage. However, he did pit at the end of lap 1. He does have to serve a mandatory pit stop, so I'm leaving the question of, was it strategy up there as well? So, Deadpool is leading the pack at the moment, weaving side to side, trying to keep those tyres warm. Standard protocol is 2 laps of safety car, or at least until the field is all bunched together, and we do still have a straggler, so I think we are going to have another lap. Yes, Tom, I believe that is the case. Certainly that was the case in the Bathurst 1000 this year. So I believe that is their policy here at Trackstars. Or at least when there is an incident deemed worthy of a safety car. I believe they have a chat where they can report incidents live, which also factors into the safety car decision process. I think if it's your own mistake, it's typically not a safety car, but if there's an actual accident that causes damage, then they do. I think there is a bit more discretion to it than just damage, but certainly it keeps the racing close, albeit staggered. Thankfully, unlike the IMSA series out in America, all safety car periods don't last 20 minutes, so there's at least that. Deadpool is leading the way then in car 28. Wiseacre there with some mind games, I think that was. Drawing alongside the race leader. We are about to go back to green flag, and SDRT Wiseacre clearly wants Deadpool to know he's there. So the safety car has drawn away. We are going to go to green flag in just a moment. I'm expecting Deadpool to wait to punch the power until such time as he's sure it won't slide out on him on exit. Goes a little earlier than I expected, but look at how smooth he exited the corner. Wiseacre was caught napping, and immediately over a second has been captured by Deadpool as we go back to green flag. And look at the pack running from 2nd through 7th place. Wiseacre under lots of pressure. Spud trying to look to the inside. Lurox went all the way around the outside, but he went too deep, and there's already contact, there's already drama. And look at this, almost 4 wide, and look at who's snuck his way through. It's racing up into P2. He did a very good job of stealthily moving through that pack of cars. Spud is up to 3rd place. Wiseacre down to 4th after his bad restart. Lurox in 5th place. Got himself a little unsettled coming out of the last corner of the first sector. He's now got Brandosa and Huntz for company. Oh, Brandosa there very late on the brake. Surely he's not going to get that stopped. He just about does, but he doesn't gain a place for his efforts. Huntz there just taking a hunk of concrete out of the wall there in P7. Papa AT, meanwhile, is in 8th spot. Now into 7th, so Huntz there getting a bad run. The NSX driver capitalising. Farrell PS with damage is into pit lane. Safety car has not gone anywhere, so I assume we will continue green flag. Must have been his own mistake, didn't get anyone else caught up in it. Deadpool then leading the way from It's Racing in 2nd. SDRT Wiseacre there in 3rd, getting a wheel on the grass, as does Lurox, and that's going to leave him sitting pretty for a pack of cars behind. There goes Papa AT going all the way around the outside. Is he? Not quite. Lurox covering it off after his mistake. But Papa AT trying to find his way through. Is he going to look to the outside? He is. Is he going to make it all the way around the outside? He is not. Tries to almost do the kind of switchback move there. Didn't quite make it stick. Look at these 5 cars. Oh, that was Puntz in the wall. I thought he'd just about managed to save himself, but not quite. Puntz. Well, the Mash Spud spares department are surely at capacity at the moment. Both cars have been meeting the wall on a semi-recurring basis. Unfortunately, Puntz, again, that incident didn't take anyone else out, so I'm assuming we will not go to safety car. Sure enough, Robbo Sport is still in pit lane, so yes, the racing continues. Deadpool continues to lead the way, a 22.559 for Deadpool. Lap 10 of this race. And a reminder that he does have a set of mediums in his pocket. He's yet to be on on soft tyres, I should say. He has a set of soft tyres in his pocket. He didn't choose to use his one set of softs in race 1. Question is, will he make the choice in race 2? It's Racing 4.1 seconds back in 2nd from Wiseacre in 3rd, and there's still quite the gaggle of cars here in 4th place. Lurox, Papa, Spud in 6th, Brandosa and DJSX Pointed are top 8. Wiseacre closing up. He is using his soft tyres. Safety car has been declared, but what for? We have HSV there with damage. Also a couple of other drivers in, switching to softs. I don't think they were connected to the incident, but obviously something has happened there. It's Racing leading the way then, and again the Hondas up there at the sharp end, 3 of them in the top 4. The unfancied ugly duckling of the 2020 season with this new rule set with increased power and decreased weight. The NSX really seems to have come into its own. It's a more difficult car to drive. We've seen it step out on pretty much everyone at least once or twice. But it seems that if you hook it up, certainly here at Seaside, it pays dividends. So then the order stabilised once more. We're at half distance in this race, lap 12 of 24. Racing, it is who leads again. Considering that may have been strategy, the early stop. Look at the state of his tyres. He's pretty much unhindered. We also saw Deadpool come in, of course, just as that safety car came in. As a few did. A lot of drivers now on fresh softs. Let's actually just take stock of who is on fresh softs. We've got Wiseacre on some slightly worn ones that I think he put on in his first safety car period. We have Papa AT also on softs. Deadpool there on softs as well in fourth. Xiaomi's in on new softs as well. Farrell is. Wazadon is. Lurox is. Punts. Randosa, Spud, all on softs. Our race leader, It's Racing, of course, used his one set of softs for this pair of races in race 1. So this is going to be a tricky couple of laps, I think, for It's Racing. He's going to have to pull something of a masterstroke to keep all of those soft tyre runners behind him in the next 12 laps. Will we get green flag running for the remainder of the race? This is Dragon Trail, so I wouldn't put my house on it. Wiseacre again being pretty feisty with his safety car conduct, again drawing alongside the leader, and this time we go to green flag. We are underway once again. How long will it take for someone to try and challenge It's Racing on his medium tyres? A lot of these drivers on softs. Oh, Deadpool! Was that a moment for Deadpool? Yes. Did he collect anyone else? I can't quite tell. But Deadpool on the new softs has almost immediately had an issue. Wiseacre with full engine damage. He got collected by Deadpool by the looks of it. Or did he have a spin? Because he was ahead of Deadpool, so I think he may have had his own incident, in fact. I think he must have driven himself into the barriers there. And oh my goodness, if RoboSport isn't the busiest safety car driver of Gran Turismo history today, I don't know who is. Wiseacre with engine damage. I don't know whether he fell or whether he was pushed, because that didn't happen with Deadpool. He was clear of Deadpool. Will anyone pit this time? Wondering if It's Racing may decide to get onto new tyres, but if I were him, I'd keep the track position, given how many drivers are here on softs. Papa AT has taken advantage of all of that drama and moved himself up to P2 as well, so it's an NSX 1-2 again. DJSX pointed, meanwhile, in P3, Farrell, Xiaomi, Wazadon, top 6. So then, let's see if we can get one lap of safety car potentially. Wiseacre's been repaired, and he should catch up to the train. So I'm wondering if maybe it will just be a single lap of safety car. We saw a one lap safety car, of course, at the end of the last race. So if he can make it around, and he's seemingly endeavouring to do so, Hopefully we can go green this time. He nearly threw it away and tried to catch up the safety car queue. Not the first time I've seen that happen, but would have been an egg-to-face moment. Half of the laps of this race have been under safety car. We're on lap 14, and the safety car has already done 7. Let's hope for some clean racing, some drama-free first turns, as the safety car distances itself from the pack, indicating we will be back to racing. A pair of Hondas, a Lexus, a Nissan, another Nissan, in fact 3 Nissans from 4th to 6th place. The Hondas have dominated thus far. It's Racing's team has dominated thus far, but he is on the mediums. Most of those behind him are on softs. Let's see if he can hold them off as he punches the throttle, and we get back to racing once again. Some side-by-side further back. Meanwhile, can Papa AT get enough draft to try and move alongside It's Racing? He does. He uses the superior grip of the softs to hang around the outside. There's barnboard to barnboard action, and It's Racing just about holds on to the lead of this race. For how long will he manage it? Papa AT there in second. DJSX Pointed in 3rd place, and Farrell PS in 4th. Farrell, of course, disconnected from the first race, so he'll be looking for redemption here in race 2. Oh, a little bit of side-on-side contact between DJSX Pointed and Farrell. Two Hondas breaking away. Of course, Pointed is also on medium tyres, so he's holding off a bunch of drivers here on the softs. He's actually doing a lot of favours to It's Racing here, intentionally or no. But I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to hold off Farrell, who looks to the inside at the final turn, just about gets it stopped and moves into P3. But then, of course, there's the small matter of the draft. There are some cars strewn around the circuit. Punts has full damage, as does HSV. Lurox and Wazadon are into pit lane. And Robosport is out onto the circuit again in the safety car. So Punts and HSV at the very least had an issue there. I'm not sure whether Lurox and Wazadon were also involved and had damage. That 3.1 second penalty on Wazadon's car suggests something besides innocence. The dramas just keep on coming, and, well, the barrier hits also keep on coming, as do the safety cars. So we are 16 laps into this race. It's Racing isn't going to be too disappointed with this situation, because every time the safety car comes out, it gives him more laps where he's not able to be passed. And so if the safety cars do keep on happening, of course all It's Racing has to do is defend for maybe a lap or 2 at a time, and then he gets to continue leading this race. So he's going to be hoping these dramas keep going. He's going to be hoping that this safety car periods, or the safety car periods, happen into perpetuity. Easy for me to say. If you can't tell, all these technical issues in safety cars have rather spun my head a couple of times. Hopefully the audio's a little better. It sounds a little better on my end. Though sometimes it is still crackling, so I can only apologise. I'm going to have to try and troubleshoot this. I don't know what else it could be at this stage, but I'll have to give it a go. It's Racing leads them for another lap. Question is, how many more laps can he lead on the mediums, and how many of those laps will be under safety car. We still have DJSX pointed there in 4th place on his mediums, but the rest of the field are on softs. Deadpool there in 6th place, so he's ended up recovering rather nicely. Of course, he had his spin as we went back to green flag the time before last. And was at the very back of the order, but he's back up to 6th. Our defending champion Spud has been really in no man's land all race. Every time he's made up a few positions, he's seemingly got caught up in another incident. He is in 7th, and he is on softs. We know that Spud is more than quick enough to get through the order here. But will there be enough green flag running for him to do so, and will he keep it out of the barriers? He's not had the most consistent and clean of weekends to this point. He won't love me for saying that, but I'm sure he wouldn't dispute it too much. Sport GTR, the elite brake and mechanical GTR, I should say, driven by RoboSport, is again distancing itself from the order. So we will be back to green flag in just a couple of seconds, and it is It's Racing in control of the pace. The 95 car then. Leading them away, Farrell's got his hazard lights on, and It's Racing has punched it early. Interesting. Usually they've waited until halfway around the corner, but It's Racing going for the element of surprise. Well, it hasn't really fooled Papa AT, but it has distanced the Hondas from Farrell in 3rd place. It's also allowed Deadpool to make it up into P5 there. For some reason I can't ride on board with Deadpool at the moment. There he is. 5th position for him now. It's Racing. Looks like he's going to be the cork in the bottle here. 5 cars all in one queue, and it's not unlikely to be 6, 7 or maybe even 8 in just a few corners. The medium tyres on It's Racing. We remind you that per weekend they have one set of softs to use. Most of them have waited for race 2, but It's Racing cashed in his set in race 1. That is why we're seeing him get hounded here, being a bumper to bumper between the two NSXs. Grinding the concrete as they head towards the death chicane. Does everyone make it through clean? It doesn't look like they do. Farrell PS with damage. That's unfortunate for Farrell, who's been fairly consistent in this race, hasn't been involved in too many of the dramas. DJSX pointed also with damage. And sure enough, RoboSport is again out there in the EBM safety car. I hope he doesn't have a coffee in the pit lane, because it's going to go cold if he's not careful here. It's Racing continuing to lead the race. As I somewhat telegraphed a few laps ago, It's Racing, by way of these safety cars, is holding on to the lead despite being on the medium tyres. All of these drivers behind him on the softs, but none of them are getting enough time, frankly, to find a way past. Interesting. Little Blacko, who's out there on circuit, messaging in on this stream. In fact, no, Little Blacko's gone. I haven't seen. Oh no, Little Blacko. Someone's gone. Was it Blacko who left? I don't think Blacko was in the race, was he? I think I'm going crazy. Someone has disconnected from the race. I didn't spot who that was. we are now down a car. It wasn't either of the drivers who caught damage in that last moment. If someone's been missing for a while and I haven't spotted it, my apologies, but I haven't. It's 3 NSXs then at the front of the order. They are back to racing conditions. Papa AT there under pressure immediately from Deadpool. Lap 20 of 24. Will this be green flag running to the end? I wouldn't put my house on it. Papa AT around the outside. And finally, the dam has been broken. Papa AT into the lead of the race, but It's Racing coming right back. He's got a nose ahead again, has he? Yes, just about. He's holding on for dear life on these medium tyres. Everyone else pretty much on softs. Papa AT there runs it wide. Deadpool's been dropped to 4th place there. Xiaomi taking advantage of a small error there. Meanwhile, Papa AT briefly led the race. Then it's a nose for It's Racing that allowed him back in. Good run off of the first chicane. We've lost somebody. Farrell with more damage. Gutting stuff for Farrell. Not sure how that's happened to him this time, but he's got more damage. SDRT Wazadon running there in 11th. Wiseacre there in 8th, his teammate. Spud, meanwhile, trying to find a way through, and I think we've made it through that lap judged clean. RoboSports even had time to write into the comments section as well. Oh, It's Racing there with a skid, just holding on to this lead on the medium tyres, but surely not 3 wide heading into this corner, guys. Careful, it's Deadpool who moves into the lead of the race. Well, It's Racing there had nowhere to go. He was in the middle of a 3-car sandwich, and he's down to 3rd place. The medium tyres finally coming in to shoot him in the foot. He's been holding off the rest of the field well, and well, he's also had the advantage of safety cars preventing them from overtaking him a lot of the time. But finally, the dam hath broken, and the 2 soft-tired NSXs are through into 1st and 2nd place. Heavy damage brings out safety car. Right, okay, thanks, Robbo. So basically engine damage then. Suspension damage or minor splitter damage is fine. Understood. Oh, Papa AT looking to the inside, but not quite able to make it stick. But does he stay side by side? No, not quite. So he's going to be able to duck into the draft now. Deadpool moves to the side to try and avoid that. Who's going to have the inside line into the chicane? It is Papa AT. They're side by side. They touch just a little bit, and Deadpool holds on to it. Good defensive driving there. He took the outside into the first part of the chicane, so he'd have the inside for the second part. Had confidence in his ability to at least stay side by side with Papa. And held on to that lead. Soft tyres then. The way forward certainly. Now for It's Racing, it's not really so much a way forward as a way to stay on the podium. He's got to hope that Xiaomi hasn't got that much pace. He's also got to hope that the likes of Lurox, Brandosa and our defending champion Spud don't find themselves finding more pace. But it does look as though It's Racing is being closed up upon by all of these drivers. So a podium is going to be a hard-earned thing. We've got some incident further back. Oh, it's Wazadon into the barricades, into the Armco. And there's some major damage on 2 cars. And sure enough, the man with the coldest coffee in Croatia at the moment. RoboSport back out onto the circuit with just 2 laps left to go, and the safety car's taken someone off. Papa AT, and trying to slow down for the safety car, has ended up in the barriers. We don't see that often in any form of racing, but Papa AT slowing down to avoid the back of Deadpool as the safety car came out has ended up in the wall. He's now overtaking under safety car. Not so sure that's going to be looked upon with all the love in the world. Well, I've seen a lot of things commentating in real life and on sim racing. And I have seen that happen before, but never at that high of a speed. And never to a leader. So, Papa AT here has now dropped back to 5th place. He's clearly been instructed to on the game voice chat. The question is, what does he do in regards to the damage? Does he stay out there? It looks like this race may end on safety car. We're not going to have the full pack together in time to do a one-lap dash. Unless showmanship is evoked and the safety car does pull off, I'm expecting this race to now end on safety car. Deadpool it is who leads from its racing. Again, the safety car not looking too likely to pull into the pits, and sure enough it stays out, so this race is going to end on safety car. Deadpool it is who leads from its racing. Xiaomi there in 3rd, Lurox in 4th. Papa AT down to 5th place, courtesy of that moment as the safety car came out. Spud in 6th, Brandosa in 7th, Huzo in 8th. Wiseacre off! More dramas under the safety car. I know Dragon Trail is a circuit that breeds incident, but I've never seen so many under a safety car before. The dramas in this race have not only been constant, but they've been highly unusual. And unfortunately for the SDRT guys, both Wiseacre and Wazadon are now at the very back of the order. Well, even under safety car, the order can sometimes change. And there's an example of that. Deadpool almost losing it there while warming up the tyres. You don't need to do that, sir. We're not going to go back to green flag. Deadpool will lead another It's Racing 1-2. Another Honda 1-2. Interesting start to the season. A very stop-and start beginning to the season. But it will be Deadpool who takes the win here. It's Racing, Xiaomi, Lurox, Papa AT, our top 5. Well, on a ceremonial basis, they are released, but I don't think any position changes will count. Photo finish there for Deadpool and It's Racing. That one will go up on the office windows. Xiaomi takes 3rd place, Lurox takes 4th, Papa AT 5th. Our defending champion Spud only 6th. Not a good start to his defense of the number 1 plate then. But there's our winner, Deadpool. With his Lewis Hamilton gear on deck, took the win. And what a win it was. The sole British driver with a very good first weekend in the Trackstars Touring Cars Series. A very good weekend for It's Racing as an outfit. Well, I think there's going to be some discourse after that race. Be it about safety car, be it about specific incidents. But certainly, there was a lot going on there. There's a lot going on with the stream as well. My apologies for what's been a harrowing day behind the desk here. I don't know now at this stage what's causing the audio issues. But we'll have to do some more troubleshooting. Maybe it is still a bandwidth issue. Maybe I can sort a wired connection or something of that ilk. But nonetheless, we'll try and fix it for next week. Thank you for tuning in to the stream today. It's certainly been an interesting race. And sure enough, Farrell PS agreeing there on the PlayStation. This is an interesting race, he says, on the Gran Turismo chat. It was certainly an interesting pair of races today. It's a great weekend for It's Racing. It's an interesting start for quite a few of the others. It's a great start for Honda. Will Spud be able to do anything as the defending champion in the coming events? We know he's quick, but he's not had the best of starts to the season. Let's talk you through, before we end the stream, where we can be next. We have the Endurance Series making its debut next week, but the next time we see the Trackstars touring cars out on circuit will be the Styrian Sprint at the Red Bull Ring, I should say, in the wet conditions. That's on February 28th, so 2 weeks from now. And then on March 7th, we have the Austrian Grand Prix, also at the Red Bull Ring, in the dry, for the Formula Trackstars series. But next week, February 21st, we have Monza with the first of a new series, the Trackstars Endurance Series. The Race of Italy, 4 hours across two 2-hour races. The stints, effectively different races, 2 hours for each driver. And that Race of Italy will be streamed live next week. We're very much looking forward to seeing how things shape up in the debut of the new series. But as the room very rapidly empties, we will bid you adieu. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next week, and hopefully my equipment will fare a little better. Again, apologies. Hopefully those of you tuning in have enjoyed it in spite of the issues. Again, we'll do my best to fix it for next week. I'm going to have to figure out what the issue actually is, though. Thank you to everyone watching. Congratulations to the It's Racing team and to Honda. A great start to their 2021 Trackstars Touring Cars campaign.